Which is good because I was going off track with that intro. Hey, what's up everybody? Commander Radix here bringing you another video. It's day 2 of LazyCon 2019.
Editor's note.
Getting a little bit self-centered there, are you?
Right, of RadixCon. It wouldn't be a proper LazyCon without a proper video, one that's actually edited and stuff. So here we are. What I'm going to do here today is a bit of a ripoff of Comic Pop's back issue series, where you have one person who knows about a comic and explains it, tells the story to two people who have no context for the story whatsoever. But I really love Comic Pop. Their channel link will be in the description. With us today we have Dreadcore and Twisted Ambition. And I'm going to be taking a look at Transformers Last Stand of the Wreckers, one of the most highly acclaimed Transformers comic, one of the most highly acclaimed Transformers stories of all time. Now, these guys don't really have any context for the... They probably know what Transformers is because it's part of the zeitgeist of culture. But let me tell you the names of some of the most popular characters here. Rotor Storm, Pyro, Top Spin and Twin Twist.
These are some edgy fucking names.
Impactor. The most popular characters here are Springer, Cup, and Perceptor. They appear...
Their brother's name is Cup?
Cup, with a K.
Oh, okay, it's with a K. That's cool then. Cool with a K, by the way.
Those are the most popular characters. Most Transformers fans will know Springer, Cup, and Perceptor.
Is that Optimus Prime?
Oh, we'll get to that. That's a dude who thinks he's Optimus Prime.
Oh
God.
My. So the whole point of Transformers Last Stand of the Wreckers was to give characters that nobody knew a chance to shine. And it was also... Laze is flossing over there. I shouldn't reference what happens off camera, but he's flossing over there.
I have one!
But it's written by James Roberts and Nick Roche. This is part of the IDW original Hasbro universe, which was back in 2005, IDW Publishing got the rights to the Transformers comics, and they started to create their own Transformers universe. Last Stand of the Wreckers came out 2010. The IDW universe started out with this dude named Simon Furman, who every Transformers fan, he's like the godfather of Transformers. But then after a while, the company was like, we want to get those new readers. We got to take your slow plan. Just chuck it out the window. Bring in this new Australian dude, and he's going to write All Hail Megatron, in which the Decepticons blow everything up.
Those are my boys.
The whole point of the first few years of the IDW universe was that they were actually being robots in disguise, which you don't actually see that much in Transformers. But he had this whole, the Decepticons had this six-phase infiltration system, where a Decepticon group would go onto a planet, become the vehicles. Phase 2 was to make the countries of that planet hate each other through use of facsimiles, like these fake humans, and start instigating conflict. And then Phase 3 was start a world war, and then Phase 4 or something, the Decepticons involve themselves in the war. And then Phase 5 is kind of iffy. Nobody really knows what that is. That we really didn't get to see that.
Question mark, profit.
Phase 6 is when you get these dudes called Phase 6ers, and there are only 2 of those. There was going to be 3, and we'll get to that in here. But there were only 2 of those, and they were called Planet Destroyers. They would go in and destroy the planet, and then you would mine the resources from the debris.
It seems like it would be a better idea to, mine the resources over time, because blowing up an entire planet full of resources seems like a inefficient.
I don't know. It's easier to mine asteroids than it is to keep trying to re-enter our atmosphere.
I mean, that's fair.
Re-entering any planet's atmosphere is extremely caustic on anyone that tries to do it. So just doing it off an asteroid field is far more efficient.
Yeah.
It's cheaper, at least.
So Furman's books got thrown out the window. They bring in this Australian dude who breaks the infiltration protocol. He just wants to see Megatron blow up stuff. At the end of that story, I just made a Transformers lore video on this. At the end of that story, Spike Witwicky, the human, shoots Megatron in the face with a Cybertronian weapon, and then Optimus hits him so hard with his fusion cannon, his head goes 270 degrees. So Megatron, for all intents and purposes, is dead. It's comics. It's a bit more complicated than that. But
there's a big bang, posted right here.
He'll get better.
But for all intents and purposes, he's dead. And after All Hail Megatron, they said, we went all out. We pretty much told every story when we just had the Decepticons take over Earth. Let's slow down. Let's have one ongoing series called Transformers where they're just hiding out in a cave and everyone hates that series. And then let's get Nick Roche and James Roberts to write Last Stand of the Wreckers, a 5-issue miniseries.
Is that all of them?
Yes.
Oh.
Actually, about where you see where it goes from white to black, all that black is extra stuff, like character profiles, drafts, entire text stories that continue on the story. All of these were written by the author for free. He didn't do it for money. Like, he just created this extra material. Half the book, almost.
Yeah.
That just free.
This is why I can never see getting into comics personally. It's because that's 5 series. That's 5 comic books. Right?
Yeah.
That's BS. That's like not. That's like what 3 millimeters.
Yeah. That's
and
fair.
they're selling what $2-3 a comic or some shit.
A little background on the writer. Nick Roche came up with the idea. He wanted to draw a Wreckers series. Wreckers came from a 1980s British... Both of these writers are British, I think. I'm not sure about Nick Roche, but James Roberts, British. The Wreckers showed up in the British 1980s Transformers comic series from Marvel. And the Wreckers were basically this Autobot unit that when Optimus Prime didn't want to get his hands dirty in something that was a little bit too war crimey, they would send in the Wreckers.
I don't approve of this, but I approve of you doing this.
Very much like the Suicide Squad, only they don't have bombs in their heads.
Yes.
But they're the Autobot, survival rates very low.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
That's just the basic concept for Suicide
You fucking ruined it for me, man.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, man.
Nick Roche has been with the IDW universe since the beginning. He sort of laid the foundations with Spotlight, Shockwave, and all that stuff. But James Roberts, before this, was a fanfic writer. A good fanfic writer.
So out there, you fanfic writers out there, there's a chance for you to be decent and not garbage people. Okay?
James Roberts wrote a fanfic called Transformers Eugenesis, which was so good, it got Hasbro to say, get this guy on our comics. And so they got him on the comics. Nick Roche thought he was going to draw it, and they're like, oh no, you're writing it. And he's like, oh. So he does draw it.
But I want to make pretty pictures.
He does draw it, he does write it. Sometimes when he's unable to draw it, another artist that's common with Transformers named Guido Guidi.
Wait.
Guido Guidi?
Can we take 1 second with that name?
Guido Guidi.
So is he from Star Wars?
Guido Guidi draws some of the stuff in here.
That's a name you find in like Rick and Morty these days. Hey, I'm Guido Guidi. I'm here to sell you cars.
But
some like stereotypical Mexican guy.
One of the stated themes of Last Stand of the Wreckers is that people die in terrible, pointless ways.
Oh.
And as such, there are 10 main Autobots to the series. 5 of them will die by the end of this book. So I want you to take your bets on who will die. Okay. I could give you like descriptions of who they are.
This one.
Okay.
That one.
Okay.
This one.
Okay.
That one.
For my editing in the future, he says Springer, Rotor, Storm, Pyro, Iron Fist, and Top Spin.
Those are my top 5.
I bet him.
Impactor.
Oh, I didn't see him. He's a good choice.
Pyro.
Him.
Cup.
Him.
Iron Fist. Twin Twist. All right. So,
oh yeah, the twins.
So
we both chose one of the twins. I just realized. I would like change that one to that one because he actually seems like a.
He's changing Top Spin to Impactor.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I didn't notice him before.
All right. By the way, before this book, Rotor Storm, Iron Fist, and Pyro had never shown up in any fiction whatsoever. Their toys were made in like the 90s, but they never showed up in any comic, any series, anything.
Is it a little? What is he? I actually can't wait to see him. He looks adorable.
Yeah. So let's get this started.
Yes.
So, like I said, All Hail Megatron, the Decepticons took over Earth. As part of that...
Oh shit, it's colorful as hell. It's nice.
At least this scene is. It gets a little bit darker.
I love seeing when everybody's dying.
When everyone's dying. while the Decepticons are taking over Earth, they're also doing this big push in space. The IDW continuity really like to focus on Transformers isn't just a battle on Earth. These Transformers are fighting across the galaxy. This is a little prison called Garrus 9. Garrus 9 is an Autobot prison for Decepticons. It's headed by this dude named Fortress Maximus.
Kind of on the nose, but alright.
And we're at the beginning of the book. Garrus 9 is being stormed by the Decepticons under the command of this dude named Irrelevant. But all of a sudden, this dude pops up. This dude's name is Overlord. He's a Decepticon, really big Boomba.
Really big Boomba.
I said that there were 2 Phase Sixers, 2 planet killers, but there were supposed to be 3. He was the 3rd. Basically, during one battle, Megatron was like, Overlord's getting a little bit too powerful. I'm going to make him a Phase Sixer and pretty much have him at my beck and call on a leash to go destroy planets. And the 2 other Phase Sixers were like, alright, let's be Phase Sixers. And Overlord said, no. How about I just leave and not be your puppet? Because I want to do my own thing. And Megatron says, well, okay. Option 1. You do what I say and become a Phase Sixer. Or option 2, you don't. Oh, and with option 2, I travel across the galaxy, find you, and tear you apart limb from limb.
Question, so Megatron could also just be a Phase Sixer himself and destroy a planet by himself? Or is power not relative like that?
If you want to talk about the process of a Phase Sixer, there's a special, there's a special element they imbue in their exoskeleton, and they only had a limited amount of it for it to make them really powerful.
Make them really big boys?
Yeah.
So then how would Megatron destroy a Phase Sixer?
Because he's Megatron.
I don't like that plot relevance.
That's a good question. If Megatron could be a Phase Sixer by himself. Because he can
defeat a Phase Sixer.
Yeah. Also, there is a chip inside every Phase Sixer that was put in by the Decepticon scientist Shockwave. You might have heard of, you might not have. He's one of the more popular Transformers.
I've heard Shockwave.
But basically, Megatron just says a command, and it just shuts them down. It's a little switch inside them, because he wouldn't set... It's a plot of a whole nother book where they focus on the Phase Sixers, because another Phase Sixer rebels against him, because of course he does, and Starscream is the one who does it, because Starscream knows the command. He says it, and the Phase Sixer shuts down.
Hey! Fuck off!
So this special metal or whatever that they put in their exoskeletons and it makes them more powerful?
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't Megatron just use that himself?
Because they had a limited supply.
And the throne can only be so big.
And
comics?
Yeah.
Comic relevance, man.
The IDW universe really focuses on Megatron as a leader, a commander. They state for 500,000 years he's sitting in this Omni globe with 500 screens around him directing troops across the galaxy. So,
I mean, he was just a worker bot at some point, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, long ago, 4 million years ago. But
God damn, this war's been forever.
Yes,
stop.
They do stop. From 2011 to 2019, the books are about the life of the Transformers after the war. So Overlord shows up on Garrus 9. He's technically AWOL. He shows up. And this reaction from the Decepticons: slag it, Overlord. This is not happening. Damn.
Oh, fuck.
It's Overlord.
Oh, God.
So Overlord comes up here and says, I'm taking control. The general is like, no, I'm in charge here. Megatron wants us to take this prison, and Overlord shoots him in the back and kills him. Takes command.
What a champ.
The next few panels are a slaughter of Autobots. Overlord defeats the Warden, Fortress Maximus. And he gathers all the Decepticons, and he says, you must follow my lead. I will protect you from anyone outside from space. And and he's like, I'm also going to entertain you. He's going to turn Garrus 9 into a mix of a death camp and an amusement park. His first game is I will turn Fortress Maximus over to you. All you have to do is try not to kill him. Catch.
So this turns into like Transformers zombies.
Yeah.
Very quickly. I mean, look at all that shit.
It does. Yeah. And of course, they rip him apart. So now we get over to the Wreckers. There are four new recruits to the Wreckers. The thing with the Wreckers is that they keep dying.
That makes sense, yeah.
They state the survival rate somewhere. It's very low. But they get these new Wreckers: Pyro, Guzzle, Iron Fist. I get Guzzle and Iron Fist confused a lot when I was
Guzzle's
first reading this.
adorable.
Guzzle's very short.
Can I change one of my death things to him?
So Guzzle was the one that he said looked cute at the...
Yes.
Guzzle these nuts.
They're testing their weapons on this planet, and one of the locals is pissed off at them.
Stop blowing your nukes on my planets!
Yeah. So, Iron Fist is a scientist.
Iron Fist the scientist?
Yeah, a bit of an engineer. Guzzle turns into a tank. He's a big gunner. Yeah.
He's so cute and tiny.
Right. Pyro is...
Pyro, the guy putting out the fire?
Yeah, putting out the fire.
It's like firefighter.
Pyro, you might notice, looks a little Optimus Prime-y. That's because he has a mental disease called, or mental condition called Primus Apotheosis, in which one considers themselves to be Optimus Prime.
Just Optimus Prime specifically, or Prime?
Optimus Prime specifically.
His boss.
Wait,
yes.
So there have been enough cases of this that they've actually given it a name?
Making it a real thing.
Yes.
I have dreams of grandeur.
Because keep in mind, this war's been going on for 4 million years. Optimus Prime is almost a legendary figure, especially to the rank-and-file troops just on the ground. So, what happened was Optimus Prime saved Pyro in one of the largest battles the Cybertronians ever fought,
okay.
and Pyro just got enamored with him, and then became trans Optimus Prime. And the other dude is Rotor Storm. He's a helicopter dude.
Yes,
like that trans Optimus Prime.
He identifies as Optimus Prime. It's Primus Apotheosis.
Hey guys, I now identify as Commander Radix.
Right.
Welcome to my channel. Give me this book. I'll lead this.
Primus words. Primus
Apotheosis.
Thank you. Yes, words. Sounds like something like a process that you would go through to become like a prime.
That's
honestly.
true, yeah. So, they're blowing up stuff. This dude, whose name is Dipstick, by the way,
what are you doing, Dipstick?
gets pissed off at them.
I was blowing that up. What the fuck you doing?
This is Ultra Magnus' ship, but it's carrying the Wreckers. We'll get to Ultra Magnus, but he shows up, and they go off to join the Wreckers, and they're greeted by Verity Carlo.
Oh shit, she's sexy.
She's also a minor, I think.
Fuck, I'm going to jail.
I need to look at the dates for it, but she might be a minor still.
Insert FBI open up meme right here.
Long story short, Verity Carlo was a human from the very first issue of IDW's Transformers universe. Mm-hmm. At some point, she stows away onto Ultra Magnus' ship, and she's just living out in space. Ultra Magnus would have sent her back to Earth when he discovered her, but Earth was kind of being blown up by the Decepticons when that happened. So
don't be a dick. Don't send her back. She's our pet cat now.
Let's not send her to the Holocaust. I believe 3 billion humans died when the Decepticons took over Earth.
Jesus.
So
it's
they
almost as good as Thanos.
Yeah, so they greet Verity, and then the real Wreckers come in. You have their commander, Springer. By the way, these 3 popular characters, nobody really knows Topspin and Twin Twist, but they have appeared as Wrecker members in the 1980s, so that's why they're here.
What's wrong with her? She's just wearing robot hands, or...
She has robot armor. In the original draft, she was actually going to use them to fight, but they got rid of it, so now she's just walking around with robot hands.
I'm one of you. I am Transbot.
I don't know. I assume she does something that they help with. I don't know.
It's very lonely in space, Gridcore.
So, Springer's the commander. Here's Perceptor. Perceptor was a scientist. At some point in a previous story, Perceptor gets shot through the chest, then rebuilt. And he says, I never want to be that vulnerable again. I want to be able to do more offensive capabilities than just be a scientist. So he gives himself a little crosshair eye, and now he's a sniper as well as a scientist. Cup, who's this old, like, stereotypical drill sergeant type dude. You might notice he's got a little cigar sitting out of his mouth.
Yeah. Is it made of metal?
It's called a Cygar. CY-GAR.
I really hate, like most of the Transformers are like Psy this or Psy that, or
that can be said for any like cyberpunk or futuristic thing. They always like.
I mean, yeah, but I don't like that.
He has this.
Is it type of tobacco or nicotine he gets from it?
He has this because in a previous story he was stranded on a planet with these radioactive crystals that made him lose his mind. It also started making his spark, his sort of soul or heart, sort of go unbalanced. Kup is really valued by the Autobots. He trained Optimus Prime. He trained most Autobots. He trained Springer, and Springer's like, I'm going to rescue this guy no matter what it takes. Also, those crystals on the planet might explode if we get too shooty on the planet. So let's go down there in anti-radiation armor that's like relics from 3 million years ago. Mm-hmm. So he sends countless waves of Autobots to get him, but Kup's going insane, mind you. Yes. So Kup crash landed there with his partner Outback. Outback died in the crash. Kup is using Outback's arm as a walking stick. And when the Autobots land there, Kup is beating them to death with the severed arm.
Just imagining like the human aspect of that, like just me getting Radix's arm here when I tips off somewhere.
They do eventually rescue Kup, but lots of Autobots died.
A lot of people died just to save one bot.
And the only way to keep him sane is that Saigar has a little bit of the crystal from the planet. So that's why he has the Saigar. It all adds up.
This is my heroin cigarette.
We also have Topspin and Twin Twist, the twins. That's all you really need to know about them for now.
That's fair.
So Iron Fist is like, dude, that's Kup. What?
He like stroked my arm.
I stroked his arm accidentally. I was like, hey.
But Kup's like, alright, you guys are the new guys. We're going to go free Garrus 9. That's the first planet we're going to liberate since the Decepticons took over the galaxy, pretty much.
He's so adorable.
Just the galaxy?
Just the galaxy. Most of the galaxy, at least.
Go, look at you. So adorable. He's so cute. You're like a cat. You're a very curious cat. Stop messing with shit.
Cut to a scene on Garrus 9. By the way, Garrus 9 has been in control. When Overlord took over, was a flashback. He's been in control of the place for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
You know, this is actually kind of cool seeing like them compared to a human.
Yeah.
They're not as large as I thought they'd be.
I mean, they're like car and tank sized.
Come on, God, he's so good.
He's adorable, yes.
I love him, but he's gonna die.
So at this point, the Autobot guards have been set loose to hunt them for sport. A lot of Autobots are also held as prisoners. The Wreckers, their first plan is to rescue the Autobot prisoners, first and foremost. This is just a scene where they're chasing Autobots, and then Overlord kills the Autobot and the Decepticons. This one dude named Snare is watching Overlord being cruel, and is like, maybe following a murderous psychopath isn't a good idea.
I wonder.
Now, back on the ship...
Big yikes.
Should I introduce... You guys don't know who Ultra Magnus is, do you?
No.
Ultra Magnus, big dude, Autobot officer. That's all you really need to know.
Fair enough.
He is transporting the Wreckers. The Wreckers are en route. Iron Fist is passed out, and everyone's like, why you passed out, Iron Fist? And Iron Fist is like, it's just a thing that happens, I'm fine. He gets a bit defensive about it. But then Guzzle, the way... how does this start? Show's over, folks. I'm all good now. Heh, I reckon being near his heroes was too much for old Fistatron here. No way. Fistatron wrote all those Wreckers declassified data logs. That's you? Ha, you're famous, Iron Fist. So he writes this... So basically he has this series called Transformers Lore.
Oh god, is that you?
He had Wreckers Lore. Iron Fist, as a scientist, he's been kept up in his lab all these years, and he's obsessed with the Wreckers because, they're off doing adventures while he's up on a laboratory.
Yeah.
So he's like... So he starts to take information from High Command and compile historical records of the Wreckers. He really loves the Wreckers, and he's living his dream because he gets to join the Wreckers now.
He's a fanboy.
He's a fanboy. He goes by the online username of Fistatron.
Which is very on the nose. He should probably... distance himself.
So again, we got to... You identify with this bot?
No, I actually don't. He's too weird.
I mean... Okay.
Anyway, there's a scene where Springer is talking to Kup, and Kup's like, yeah, it must be hard to be in command, isn't it? It must be hard not to think of Impactor. Now, Impactor was the Wrecker commander before Springer, and Impactor is in Garrus 9. So, this commander of the Wreckers, Impactor, he's known as the Autobot who went too far.
Oh no.
And that's why he's in Garrus 9. They find something out in I guess.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Christ.
Okay, so Overlord, as part of his entertainment death camp amusement park, he has the Autobots and Decepticons, he has them fight in the pit.
Oh, of course. Yes, as Overlords do.
And once you become the champion, in which case this
slag looker.
there's a lot of interesting slurs in this book.
Do you think the author had like a board of robot slurs?
He did. I can tell you one of the slurs that Hasbro saw and said no. There's a scene where they crash into the prison, and Rotorstorm goes, "Hey, Overlord, I heard you have a case of penal dysfunction." And Hasbro looked at that script and said, "No,
No.
no." But
You got that limp plug, boy?
but
Once you become the champion.
yeah, this is the champion. He's actually one of the Autobot guards.
Oh no, he's ruined.
But he's like ripping apart this Decepticon, and he's like, "Please kick off, you're an Autobot. You know what that means in this place, Vorhole? Nothing," and rips his head off. Now, after you have like 12 victories, Overlord gives you a choice. You can either kill yourself or fight Overlord, which there's no difference between those two choices.
Yeah.
This was actually part of a subplot that James Roberts wanted to go further with. But ultimately, it was going to involve Grimlock. Grimlock is in Garrus 9, by the way.
Why is... Wait, what?
Grimlock's he went AWOL in a previous story, and they eventually captured him. And I think sending him to Garrus 9 is a little bit
That's a bit
intense
much.
for
going AWOL.
For everyone in Garrus 9.
Yeah. But
I mean, I feel... Grimlock's fucking...
Is there...
He's got... I don't know if this is okay on YouTube. He's got retard strength.
he's got retard strength.
Is there any Transformers at all that are not in the war?
Technically, yes. Before the war, when the war broke out, a large chunk of the Cybertronian population got on ships and left. Yeah.
He said a bunch of the assholes wanted to keep fighting or protect what they thought was right.
Yeah.
There's also a guy on a junk planet.
There is, yeah, even in the IDW universe. But, what was I going to say? Grimlock was originally going to play a bigger role. Ultimately, James Roberts didn't want him to overshadow. The whole theme of this book is we're dealing with characters nobody's heard of.
Yeah.
And he thought Grimlock doesn't really go.
We already got the wannabe Primus here.
Now,
Or Prime.
Grimlock before this was sane. Like, he talked normally. He didn't talk like, "Me, Grimlock, blah, blah, blah."
Hello, my name is Randy. Instead of, "Yell me Randy."
Yeah, the thing was going to be Overlord was going to inject him with a steroid allegory and make him go insane and become that, but also like really strong. Originally,
Black Krypton or whatever.
Originally, it was going to be after 12 victories, you commit suicide or you fight Grimlock, and Grimlock will tear you apart. But they didn't want to bring in Grimlock, so they did Overlord. The Autobots on Ultra Magnus' ship find an abandoned Decepticon ship, and they're like, "Oh no, let's try to call it." It fails, the ship blows up anyway. But then someone approaches who comes out from the explosion, and it's Impactor.
That was my house.
Impactor, the Autobot who went... We just talked about Impactor.
Yeah.
Flashback to a long time ago.
A long time ago.
You have the battle where Overlord, he's fighting people. Megatron calls him up. He says, "You want to be part of this Phase 6er plan?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "What if I don't want to?" Option 1, you do as I say. Option 2, you don't. And with Option 2, I hunt you down and tear you limb from limb. So what's it going to be? Cut back to the transportation scene. What's the importance of this? They're speculating about why Impactor got sent to Garrus 9. The cover-up story is that he sent adulterated Energon to the Chomskyians. But Iron Fist is like, that sounds like a cover-up story.
Just bring a bunch of porn? What does that mean? Adulterated?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
It's a pornographic Energon cubes.
So they're looking at Impactor's head, and they find that there's a bomb in it, because everyone in Garrus 9 has a bomb in their head to prevent escaping. If you escape, Fortress Maximus blows you up.
So blow up your head.
Yeah, Fortress Maximus will blow up your head if you leave, but I don't know if you guys know, but Fortress Maximus is kind of occupied right now.
Yeah, I think he's a little busy.
So it legit is like Suicide Squad.
Yeah, kind of.
Though I guess it's been 2 years, so he might not be so busy anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. It's revealed that Snare, the Decepticon, was like, maybe doing this is a bad thing.
Yeah.
He comes in and says, "Get out of here, go find help." And he's like, "Why should I trust you? You're a Decepticon called Snare, and you're the Autobot who went too far. You are denied the mercy of spark extraction because you wouldn't show remorse for your crime." There is a thing in Garrus 9 where they take your spark out of your body and just put it into a cube, so you aren't conscious of the fact you're in prison for your entire life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you're only allowed that if you show remorse for your crime. Impactor didn't.
Nah, I killed him. and his kid, and his wife, and his wife's wife.
He's voluntarily choosing to stay in here this whole time. But let's see. Now,
this is some JoJo Bizarre move shit right here.
Right. So Springer says you're dismissed, Impactor. Impactor's like, I was the commander before you. And Springer's like, nope. Since when did I start taking orders from you? Since you shut yourself inside that room on Pova, soldier. So a little bit more of hints at what happened.
I'll take this. Okay, I really like this thing, to be honest with you.
She is like
walking around.
skater
She has little
things,
Hey, the skater girl.
And you know what I used to think back on G9? For all his holier-than-thou shtick, Springer would have done the same as me. That's what really used to eat me up. Springer would have done the same. But now you know what? I don't think you would. And believe me, pal, in my eyes, that makes you a whole lot worse. So a lot of strife between Impactor and Springer right now.
Yeah.
This is current day, yeah.
Yeah, this is current day. Is there anything relevant here? Oh, yes, Ultra Magnus says, Prowl is the Autobot second in command, right-hand man to Optimus Prime. Prowl's kind of a jerk. Prowl's very much I care, the ends justify the means. But Ultra Magnus tells Springer, that he has a message from Prowl.
There are a lot of, like, just names and characters that you have to, like, digest in this whole series.
And that name was Aequitas. And Springer's like, what is Aequitas? We'll find out.
It sounds like a judge of some sorts.
Can they fabricate food for the one human on board?
Oh.
That's a good question. I have no idea what Verity eats. I don't know what she's doing.
She's just eating the rats they got on an Earth and breeding them for food.
So they're approaching Garrus 9. Ultra Magnus is like, Impactor will be joining you because he knows about Garrus 9. But also, Aequitas. So our first goal is to save the Autobot prisoners. Second priority, get Aequitas out of Garrus 9. Also, Impactor has informed us that we thought Garrus 9 was just under the control of the Decepticons. For the last 3 years, G9 has been ruled by Overlord, in which the Autobots say, Overlord? Oh, slag, damn, this isn't happening. This isn't happening.
So basically the same thing.
Yes.
Also, did they like custom build these little wheels and shit for her?
I think.
Because they don't come from another bot, obviously, because of how small they are.
I mean, either the Autobots did or she did, I guess. I don't know. Does she have engineering
She
experience?
just killed a mini-bot and took all their shit.
There was a situation where they needed engineering experience, so she took them across the country to find someone who she knew who could do it. Okay. So she doesn't really have that much.
Okay.
But Cup's like, Overlord's scary. He's telling his war story because he's an old man.
She went full fucking retard in this picture.
Interestingly enough, I think that's one of the panels they redrew.
Oh no.
Verity has some weird faces in this book, and some of the panels they redrew for the trade.
God. That's such a bad, rendition of her.
So Cup is like, he tells the story of back during the battle, Overlord shows up, chokes out Cup and says, tell Megatron I've chosen option 2, and that I'll be waiting for him. And flies away. So Overlord's preparing to face Megatron.
In the meantime, he's having fun in the pit. Again!
Yeah. So Garrus 9's protected by a shield. They need to hit it at the same time. They have 2 drop pods. Rotorstorm's going to be flying one of them, and Rotorstorm's going to be flying the other one via remote control.
That's an interesting question. We all have, our fingerprints are all unique. This makes me an interesting question. Are they the same way?
I don't know.
They probably have other ways to identify
They do,
them.
yeah.
Well, I know. It's just it looks like little pressure plates on the end of their fingertips. I guess they feel.
Probably just
maybe
feel, or maybe just to give them.
It's just a very interesting detail to add.
Because I'm not sure how much.
It's a very nice detail to add.
I'm not sure how much traction slick metal fingers would normally have. So that might just be so you can grab stuff.
So just a montage of them preparing for the trip. Impactor's depressed. Topspin and Twin Twister are like, it's happening more often now. What do we need? What do we do? This writer really likes to drop stuff and then wait a little bit to tell you more.
Yeah.
The writer, there's Verity leaving this message because she's going to sneak aboard the pods and join them on Garrus 9.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Ultra Magnus is dropping them off. Ultra Magnus says, it's easier for me to not address the writer's war crimes when I'm not there on the battlefield. But she writes, Dear Ultramanus, by the time you read this, and the writer says every time he sees this panel, he thinks the next sentence is going to be, by the time you read this, you'll probably realize I have a thing for big fonts. Because it's so big on the screen. They come in, they're landing. Verity is like, I'm here, by the way.
And then she immediately gets shocked because they got startled and they're in war mode.
Yeah. They crash through the shield. A hole gets blown through the bottom of one of them, and Perceptor is like, hold my legs, top spin. I feel the urge to shoot someone. The next panel is him hanging upside down, sniping people midair.
What a champ. Can we also talk about this real quick? Is she just Samus right now?
Is she what?
Just
No,
Samus.
Just Samus, yeah.
Clunky Samus.
They crash down. Who's in what pod? Springer, Cup, Topspin, and Impactor crash in the middle of Garrus 9. Rotor Storm, Iron Fist, Perceptor, Topspin, Pyro, and Verity crash right in front of Overlord.
Oh.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, look, yeah.
Hey, look, a little mini bot. Wait a minute, you have organic shit in you. You want to fucking die?
Flashback to Overlord freeing Shockwave, who's also in Garrus 9.
Why's Shockwave there?
He was captured in the same story Grimlock was captured in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I actually like the Shockwave as a character.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. So, Overlord's pretty much talking about how, thank you for... Shockwave's the one who put in the command so Megatron could just say something and stop a Phase 6er.
Yeah.
Shockwave has been dismantled, and they come to an agreement that in return for putting Shockwave back together and freeing him, Shockwave cuts off the command gets rid of that command.
A question about Shockwave in particular.
Yeah.
Why he feels so much different than all the other bots in the series?
Yeah.
Is he like they have some form of organics in them? Does he the same in him, or is he also organic like the rest of the bots? Or
none of them are organic.
Or I'm saying organic as in the sense that they seem to have their own bio stuff. They all seem to have their own personality, some form of their bio.
What?
Oh, they're like personality?
Not personality, just like they're non-organic, but for some reason the backstory I've heard or understood, they feel organic in their own right.
The technical term for them, and by technical I mean this is what the Japanese call them, is super robot life forms. I don't know if that's
fair enough.
He did undergo a process called shadow play.
NVIDIA has that.
which removed all his emotions.
Oh,
okay.
Because
I know he didn't like Starscream. It's hello.
Before the war,
he's actually a robot.
Before the war, Cybertron was controlled by this very oppressive Senate. You know, the ones the Decepticons rose up to fight against. Shockwave used to be this very emotional dude. He used to have a face, and he was like, "We need to fight this." The Senate kidnaps him, rewires his brain so he has no emotion, doesn't care, and also as a form of humiliation replaces his face with the Cyclops eye. I'm
pro
without
bad dudes.
Without emotions, would he even be humiliated by not having a face?
That's a good point. No, he wouldn't be.
No, they're just being a dick at this point.
They also removed his hands with claws to dehumanize him. When the war starts up, he replaces one of the claws with a hand, the other one with a gun.
I mean, that's fair. A hand.
How do you dehumanize a claw more? Yeah. It's just a gun. One of my favorites. He's not letting him keep his gun, by the way.
Yes. So Overlord kind of talks about how all this stuff going down in Garrus 9 is we need to make Garrus 9 the most horrible place in the galaxy to attract the attention of Megatron.
I would think that would attract his attention, like, just because Overlord's there. Because he did promise Overlord he'd hunt him down and tear him limb from limb.
Yes. Remind me of that when we get towards the end.
Okay.
So these guys, the main record... These are kind of the main record team.
We're going to wreck them.
Perceptor and Topspin are with the rookies, but these are, for all intents and purposes, the main guys plus Guzzle.
The non-colorful ones.
Yeah. They're running away from the Decepticons. There's a little entry from Iron Fist's Wrecker's Lore series where it says, like, the first rule of being a Wrecker is to stick together. We've lost the others. They can look after themselves.
I think what I'm going to do is make a second channel and just call it that, and then just re-upload your content to it.
The second rule is to keep calm. Ah! The third rule, don't make it personal. It's payback time. And final rule, always stay positive. This is bad. We're outpaced, outflanked, and outgunned. So the real Wreckers are just going against everything Wreckers lore by fanboy Iron Fist says.
Alright, here's the fucked up area. The shit went down, right?
Yeah. So we have the rookie team plus Topspin and Perceptor landing right before Overlord.
Yeah.
I thought Megatron had sent you, but no, you're Autobots. Wreckers. There's a difference. Not really. You all make the same whimpering sound when you die. Bold words, Overlord. Oh, did I missay something?
No. I was saying so do Decepticons.
Yeah.
They also whimper when they die.
Bold words, Overlord, but you reckon with that one thing. Wreckers, combine. Well, I thought it was funny.
Okay, that comes back to my first statements.
Yeah.
Then,
Which may or may not be in this episode.
Hey, he left.
Overlord starts laughing, and Overlord starts laughing. At least you got a sense of humor. Gun to the face, kaboom, blood spatters on everyone.
Oh,
Who did we get?
Yeah, did the others pick him?
Rotor Storm died. I was hoping you guys would remember who you picked.
I'll go back to the picture in the back. I know what pictures I picked.
Oh, I removed the
The
bookmark.
card disappeared, yes.
There, I guess.
That's Rotor Storm.
Yes, me.
I did not pick him.
We'll know through editing, at least.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. That was one. That's one I choose. I'm pretty sure.
So, gun straight to the head. Like, it's right up against.
Yeah.
Boom. I don't know if that makes me a psychopath, but this is like a very, satisfying pair of panels.
Shot through the head.
Is that like oil or something?
Energon.
Energon.
Yes.
Right?
It
Energon's
flows
liquid?
through their
Yeah,
gears.
it can be, yeah.
It can be. Okay,
Yeah.
so it has multiple forms.
Yeah.
I guess like any matter. I guess any matter can be liquid if given.
If it's hot enough.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, with the main team, they're stuck, but Impactor says the thingamajig... The prisoner cell blocks should be below them, so Twin Twist is like, hey, I have drills, let me drill down there. But it's like, you're injured. If you try to transform, it's going to hurt like hell. We can take it. And it's revealed that when he transforms, the twins feel pain at the same time. If one of them feels pain, the other feels pain.
So when one of them dies...
They have what's called a branched spark, which means their sparks are connected via Wi-Fi signal. Their sparks are...
Bluetooth, man.
Yeah, their sparks are shared. One of them dies, the other one dies.
So we're both right. Yeah! Oh shit, someone's gonna die here. We just celebrated that.
Topspin just wanted to be a cartographer. But Twin Twist is like, I'm joining the freaking Wreckers, man. And he's like,
Oh, do this.
I cannot in good conscience just be a cartographer when my brother, who is, if he dies, I die, is off on the Suicide Squad.
Boy, that is really selfish.
You should probably go help your brother survive if the other option is we both die.
Or I don't know, make it where you can't move anymore. It's like, you stay here. You're not gonna die ever. Just stay here.
That's gonna be evil.
Autobots are fighting Overlord. They drill down here. They fall into a pit. This is where they find Kickoff's body. That's when Impactor says you have a choice, either die or fight.
Yeah.
What's his face? Then they get tased.
As one does.
These guys eventually... So, these Decepticons report that the Wreckers have arrived, which Overlord's fighting them, so...
They run in real quick. The Wreckers are here! Everybody turns around, looks at him. Oh yeah, they're right here.
So there are more of you, the more famous ones, presumably. So he goes into the communications on the intercom and says, Decepticons, please attend carefully. It's only taken 3 years, but the Autobots have finally noticed that some of their own are unaccounted for, and these are Autobot prisoners.
Yeah.
Torture through various means. The Wreckers have duly paid us a visit. So, in the interest of entertainment, here's the deal. Any Decepticon who brings me the head of a Wrecker can leave.
Oh.
Well, what are you waiting for? A starting gun? And then they start running after them. And the Wreckers run off. They manage to find a place to hide for a little bit. Iron Fist is having a mental breakdown. He shot him in the head, Perceptor, in the head. This isn't what being a wrecker is about.
That's exactly what Wrecker's about. Have you seen our percentiles?
Saving lives, yes. Dramatic rescues, yes. And having adventures. What's just wrong with having adventures? But that, back there, with the laughing and the gun and all the viscera, that was not part of the deal. And Topspin was like, that's exactly what being a wrecker is about. And what is your deal? All of us voted Pyro, Guzzle, and Rotorstorm onto the team. We were just told you have to come. So Iron Fist has been told to be sent there by High Command.
They're really getting tired of his bullshit.
Yeah.
Is what's going on.
So that's when that's revealed. Now, meanwhile, Cup and Guzzle have gone off their separate ways. They're going to find...
Stay safe, my little man.
They're going to find Grimlock. Because they think, well, if we can get Grimlock out, he'll help us. Now, while they're climbing down there, Guzzle says, you sure he's going to be all the way down there? Trust me, kid, the maximum security cells are always in the basement. Just watch your step. You're no use to anyone if you die during a rescue attempt. That happened to some good friends of mine. They were tried killing to save another bot's tailpipe. Hope the guy was worth it. Depends on who you ask.
Oh, it was him, wasn't it?
Guzzle's friend died in the wave of the People Cup, killed when he was insane on that planet.
So he couldn't care less if Cup lives or dies.
On the contrary, Guzzle wants to kill Cup.
So he doesn't care if he lives, just as long as he dies by his hand.
Yeah. No, I guess this is a spoiler. He never actually kills Cup.
Oh, okay.
My little man needs vengeance.
In the original draft, he does. But IDW said no because Cup was part of this huge story arc that was going on, and they said we can't kill Cup. We have a plan for him. And like, oh, okay.
No, just put Guzzle in the fucking place. It's fine.
So
my man needs a comic series on his own.
They're trying to find Aequitas. And they assume Aequitas is going to be on the other side of this wall because it's vibrating at a frequency that puts it slightly out of sync or whatever sci-fi mumbo jumbo. Yeah. And Perceptor's like, I wonder why they haven't tried to lockpick it. They have. They have Fortress Maximus's body hooked up to his brain, hooked up to the lock, trying to find the password to open up the door to get to Aequitas.
Jesus Christ!
All cut up. In a future series, you get to see the scene where Overlord himself is like cutting off his limbs with a buzzsaw and saying, oh, and for every 2 seconds I'm going to kill one of your Autobot prisoners. Every 2 seconds you delay because I want the password to Aequitas. And Fortress Maximus refuses. So he survives being ripped apart.
Yeah.
I mean, basically any robot can do that, it seems like in this series.
Yeah.
As long as the spark's still intact.
Yes. Let's see.
I now see the good picture of what you're talking about.
Of his crosshair eye, yeah. Okay, they open up the door and finally get to meet Aequitas. And we move to the next scene because this writer likes to cliffhang. So the records that got captured...
what'd your computer do?
Please tell me it's not unplugging the mic. Do you see the Audacity thing continuing?
It's still, yeah.
It's working still.
Okay.
Okay. I heard like the doom.
Right.
It was, I don't know, it's probably an update or something.
Okay. That's actually very concerning, but with any luck.
Yeah.
If you say it's continuing, then it's continuing.
Yeah, they're still detecting sound, so we should be good.
Okay. So, this dude, Stalker, I think his name is, he's torturing the captured Autobots, blah, blah, blah. Torturing Topspin, by the way, which means Twin Twist isn't no, this is Twin Twist. Torturing Twin Twist, by the way, so Topspin's not having a fun time.
Oh,
No.
Flashback. Iron Fist is off in his laboratory when Prowl, Autobot High Command, Second in Command, shows up and says, hello, Iron Fist, or should I call you Fistatron? I can't believe you've read my work, sir. But, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, your name was Fistatron. I was looking for porn, but you just kind of found you, but alright, whatever.
And Prowl's like, you want to be a wrecker? And he's like, yeah, but they have a pretty high standard, and I'm sure the accident didn't help. You know about that? And so he's like, I have a plan for you. Springer's putting together a new team of wreckers, and they need a weapons expert. I'm going to throw you on there. So, some sort of accident.
You wrote some shit about me in your last vlog. I don't like that. You go into records. Oh, it's Robin.
Guzzle and Cup get to Grimlock's cell. They open it. It's empty. Snare pops up. If you're looking for Grimlock, you're wasting your time. He's long gone because he was written out of the book. Yeah. Please lower the guns. I'm here to talk, which is why you two aren't smoldering from the neck up. Grimlock. Overlord had him killed. Overlord kept him alive, made him watch footage of G9 becoming one vast exit wound. He was powerless to intervene. I think it drove him mad in the end. And this is how Grimlock became retarded.
Grimlock got PTSD.
Grimlock got PTSD. Welcome to the IDW universe.
Welcome, soldier.
But Snare is going to help them. So they find Aequitas, which is a supercomputer.
Giant butthole in this whole thing.
So Pyro's like, we're here to rescue a supercomputer. All of us are dying to rescue a supercomputer. And he's like, no, we're just here to download the contents on the hard drive.
Wait. They're going to download all the information from a supercomputer onto a hard drive.
No, they're downloading the hard drive of the supercomputer. You'll get to see where they get to download it to.
One of them, hopefully? Oh, God, I want to laugh.
I'm pretty sure that noise was the Wi-Fi going out on the computer.
Oh, well,
Yeah, the Wi-Fi didn't go out, but that's okay.
So Perceptor explains that Aequitas detects guilt. It's a judgment machine. Plug it into somebody.
Sounds like my grandmother.
it makes sense for it to be in a prison. Then.
Yeah. Barely anybody knows about Aequitas, by the way, I should say that. Topspin's not having a good time because his brother's being tortured.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Perceptor's trying to figure out how to get access to the hard drive. While they're waiting, the Decepticons are pounding on the other side of the door. Impactor and Springer are talking during their torture session. They're yelling. He says, Impactor was held on trial through Aequitas, and he says, like, after your testimony, they plugged you into Aequitas, and the first thing you said was, I saw him do it. The Decepticons tried for hundreds of years to rip the records apart, and you managed it in 5 words. So just talking about the crime he
Can we
committed.
talk about Flamboyant Bottle here in a second?
Oh, Macabre. Or Macabre. I'm
And
not
my
really sure.
other little
I believe
boy.
it's pronounced macabre.
He's so cool.
Ah,
Which is, I don't know why the R isn't actually pronounced, but
I have no idea.
Or languages or whatever.
Yeah. So, to help Verity keep her mind off the fact that there's a horde of Decepticons wanting to rip apart on the other side of the door, she asked Iron Fist to give her a little bit of Transformers lore, tell her a Wrecker story. And he's like, let me tell you about the Battle of Pova. And if you remember, there was the line, since you shut yourself in that room on Pova. So, they're battling the Decepticon group called Squadron X on Pova. Squadron X is the Decepticon version of the Wreckers. Interesting enough, Earthquake, the Decepticon member of the Decepticon version of the Wreckers, evil Decepticon, has Primus Apotheosis.
Huh.
Thinks he's Optimus Prime.
At least the other one kind of looks like Optimus Prime. You don't got nothing, man.
How exactly does he, like, fucking that with, like, him being on the...
We don't really see that developed. It's just, the writer throws out, by the way, this dude had Primus Apotheosis.
Oh, so J.K. Rowling this shit. Got it.
So, on Pova, they're battling the Wreckers. Springer gets caught in and the Decepticons are coming. Impactor's there. Springer's like, just go. With me in your way, you can't get a clear shot. You can't fight back. Not your fault, kid. I'm the one that got us into this mess. Blast a hole through my midsection. It'll give you the scope you need to fire at them. I've heard some crazy things in my time, but I'm serious. I'll engage my circuit dampeners. I won't feel a thing. Wreck and rule. Wreck and rule is the battle cry for the
That's
Wreckers.
some 80s, 90s shit right there.
It's from the 80s. So.
Okay.
So he shoots through Springer, he engages his circuit dampeners, hits the Squadron X guys. The Squadron X guys gets captured. Then another Wrecker comes out from where they captured them. His arm's ripped off, he's wounded. The Squadron X escaped, they're loose. And Impactor says, no, it ends here now. And he goes in there, single-handedly fights off Squadron X and defeats Squadron X. Hooray, hooray.
Okay, fair enough.
So Perceptor's like, oh, it's password protected. What do you mean password protected? It has to be activated by Spark donation, which means someone has to die to turn on the computer.
That seems like not a good thing.
Without G9's command crew, so let's be clear that this isn't like the default way to open up the computer.
Shit, I need to look up that cookie recipe.
Download the data into one of their dead bodies?
No.
Oh, okay.
But, so they're all going to argue about, So Thompson says we'll force feed it a Decepticon, but it's fitted with an anti-coercion device, a suicide lock. Someone has to offer their spark willingly.
Fortimus Maximus guy.
Fortress Maximus.
Isn't he still alive
He's
back there?
still alive back there.
Can we just grab him?
Just throw Fortress Maximus.
Yeah, by the way, hey man, come here.
I think they have to wake him up first.
Yeah, it has to be willing. So,
Well, he's already fucked the hell up.
Yes, but he might not be conscious after,
Hey,
3 years of...
we want your spark. Wake up!
So Perceptor's like, I'm the only one who can run the computer. I can't do it. Topspin is connected to Twin Twist. He can't do it. No use in 2 people dying. And Verity's like, okay, so the 2 rookies. And then Iron Fist says, it was never going to be Perceptor, was it? Or Springer, or Impactor, or Cup. If they were here, no, it was always going to be one of us, the second stringers. And Pyro, yeah, just because we're not Arc worthy, one of Arc is the ship Optimus Prime drives.
I thought it was a story arc.
That's a good point. One of us has to bite the bullet. Well, I'm sorry, but this isn't how I'm supposed to die. I'm supposed to go out in a blaze of glory, sacrificing myself to save a planet's worth of innocence. Yeah, the grand finale to a life well lived. Guns blazing, jaw jutting, outpaced by a 15 kiloton explosion. And Prime's there, and he's awestruck. And then, too late, he gets it. Me and him, we're the same. We're the very same.
Dear God.
So edgy.
You see my head? I had a model in the form of him, my hero.
He's gonna die.
So Verity's like, you need to speak up for yourself, Iron Fist. And Iron Fist is like, he rethinks his life and how he saw the Decepticons, killed a man. Yeah. He's a weapon scientist. He's made all these different weapons that's killed so many people. And he's thinking about how all of his closest friends have died accidentally by his weapons. And he's like, you know what? I'm ready. I didn't think I was, but I am. Thank you, but I'm done. Meanwhile, Topspin's feeling the pain of Twin Twist being tortured, and he's like, you know what? That's enough. I'm putting us both out of our miseries. And then, boom, with a last wreck and roll, the two of them die to turn on Aequitas.
Murder of twins.
Let's see. So they hook it up to Iron Fist. They're going to download all the information into Iron Fist.
Can we also talk about like the guy that's torturing his other brothers? Like, I told you, what the fuck?
Yeah, the dude torturing. What the hell just happened?
Oh, okay. It's a candle.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah. So they download it into Iron Fist. At the torture chamber, Guzzle, Cup, and Snare break in. They shoot down Stalker. Stalker's like, traitor! Springer kills Stalker, but not before Not before Stalker calls Overlord.
This is some He-Man shit.
Snare gets shot in the face during the exchange, and Impactor's like, you sacrificed yourself to save us. Why? Overlord. He basically says Overlord's bad, and I couldn't in good conscience do this, but also, I'm going to die anyway if he finds me. So he says, Impactor's like, we'll move you somewhere safe. No time. Just kill me quickly before he gets here. Please. At least I know that my death has... Okay, crushes his brain.
At least I know my death. Too many words.
At least I know my death. Okay. Then, yeah. Overlord pops up. Is like, ready?
By the way, can we talk about that for a second as well? They fight... I keep seeing the video episodes where they're like fighting out, duking. All of a sudden, just a cage just pop.
Yeah.
And it's not... It even happens to people that are just fighting each other on like, even par. Just finally touch the head, crush.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, there's spark in their head.
There's a thing called Rossum's Trinity in Transformers lore.
Okay.
You have the brain module, the spark, and the transformation cog, but nobody really pays attention to that. If one of those dies, you're dead. So if your brain is crushed, you're not coming back.
Where's the transformation cog?
It depends.
It depends.
It just pops up anywhere.
Buttons.
Okay.
Sometimes the spark is in the shoulder. Like the brain.
That's a really bad place for your spark to be.
The brain is almost consistently always in the head. The spark is typically in the chest, but it moves around. TF cog could be anywhere. Transformation cog could be anywhere.
It's in my big toe.
So, Perceptor's like, there's a lot of Decepticons at the door. Iron Fist has Aequitas in his head. He can use that to activate the bombs in their head because they're prisoners. And Verity's like, but Impactor's a prisoner too. He has a bomb in his head. You'll kill Impactor. And like, you're going to think that Iron Fist is going to kill his greatest, his hero. And Iron Fist is like, I know everything. Everything's changed, Verity. Everything. Knowing what I know now, I say do it. Blow up all the Decepticons and Impactor. He deserves it. Because Iron Fist now knows what Impactor did.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the scene, that meme about Marge doing the crunk.
So cut to the battle between Overlord and the other Wreckers. He's ripping Guzzle in half.
Oh, well, Guzzle's dead, probably.
He survives.
Oh, he survives.
Yeah.
My boy can't be killed that easily.
But I like how he rips him in half and then slams them on Cup's face.
Cup's like, that kind of sucked.
So the Decepticons begin to come in, and Verity's like a... yeah.
Keep my metal rod in your eye, boy.
Verity eventually tries to convince Iron Fist that we shouldn't kill Impactor, and Iron Fist is like, no, kill Impactor, and Perceptor has a change of heart. And Perceptor's like,
You don't have to acknowledge me. I'll just checking to see if it's actually still going.
Would he? I mean, like, would he even?
Oh yeah, we're just telling story time here.
Like, could he like selectively just kill the Decepticons? Does he have to?
it's gotta be all of them.
Well, that seems like one person escapes. Fortress Maximus would have killed them all.
Maybe they explain it. Yeah, they don't really explain it.
Good luck.
Maybe Aequitas isn't just in tune to detonate only... I don't know.
That seems like really poor.
There's like 2 codes here, and I don't know which one's which. Cause I'm gonna do both of them. Fuck it.
So Perceptor gets convinced that we should fight instead of kill Impactor, and Pyro's like, "No, you run. I'll stay here, draw their fire, keep them busy."
That's what he wanted.
He's going out Optimus Prime style. So
far, I think I've been 100% right.
They run after some talking, the stereotypical, we don't want you to die. It's like, I have to do this for the greater good. It's what Optimus Prime would have done, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So they run. The Decepticons break down the door. Pyro stands alone. And as they drive away, he's like, don't look, Verity, because Pyro's being ripped to shreds. He actually dies, not like Fortress Maximus. He's dead.
He's dead. No, yeah, his head's off.
Yeah, completely obliterated. So Verity is like, so what do you mean what happened with him? What did Impactor actually do? And Iron Fist is like, Pova. I thought I knew the story. Wasn't what happened. By the way, Pova is POV, and then an A to the end, so the little play on words here, point of view. This is what actually happened. Notice how the colors have changed. It was bright and happy before.
Yeah,
now it's rainy and smudgy. Springer's in the way. Don't go. They'll be on top of us in seconds. I need you here. Quit whining, kid. I'm not the one who got us into this mess. You think I wanted to get trapped? Listen, I'm going to suggest something a little unconventional. I'm going to shoot you. Nothing fancy. Just a few rounds to your midsection. Trust me. It's the only way I can get a clear shot at Squadron X. You what? I've heard some crazy things in my time, but I'm serious. Just engage your circuit dampeners. You won't feel a thing. What circuit dampeners? I don't have any circuit dampeners.
That sucks for you, don't it?
I'm sorry, but this just might save both our lives. Come on, kid. Work with me here. Say the words. No. Rack and Impactor, please, no. Roll. When he screamed. Just a complete 180 to 1.
Through the chest?
Through the,
midsection.
Oh.
So... They got Squadron X captured. Impactor calls Prowl. He says, I've got Squadron X. And Prowl's like, where are you? I'm on Pova. We have a treaty with Pova.
Oh.
That Pova is going to be neutral in the war, so we can't fight there. Any prisoners you've caught on Pova have to be released. Or else we are going to hurt our relations with the Povians.
Yeah.
Why was he not aware of this before this whole situation, though?
Because the Wreckers don't care about galactic politics.
Yeah, the suicide.
Oh, so I love this isn't like a hologram. It's just like 4 of his heads rotating. His heads rotating in the cube.
The entire point is that they do things that like are Black Ops, like war crimey.
Yeah,
so.
CIA putting cocaine in the Middle East.
You think that if they're gonna do things that are like war crimey, they might remove their Autobot essentials somehow.
That's kind of fair.
You're not just a rogue bunch of robots, No, we're the records, the known Autobot Black Ops.
So Prowl's like, you have to let them go over my dead body. This is non-negotiable. Release them now, and we may be able to stop the Decepticons using this to turn the Povians against us. Prowl out. And so Impactor just says, gun, and this dude passes him a gun. He walks over. Springer's saying, wait. He's limping over because he's shot through the midsection.
And he goes in the room.
He goes in there. The Squadron X is captured. Slams the door shut. Starts executing them. You get this real good panel composition where you have the bangs of the gunshot with the bang of Springer hitting the door. Yeah. The other Wreckers don't have the moral compass of Springer. They're just looking away. Literally looking away. He finally breaks it down and is like, no. And he's executed them all. War criminal. So they're fighting Overlord, and Springer's like, we're going to rescue the Autobots and we're going to win. I doubt that very much. You see, shortly after I heard you Wreckers were on my patch, I gave a simple order. Kill every prisoner. And so this was the previous Autobots we saw before.
Yeah.
This dude shot up. I don't know what the heck happened to
I
this
assume
dude.
he shot so much that he just like Swiss cheese.
This dude's head's off and his symbol shoved down his throat.
Yep.
This guy was literally just yanked through this fucking opening.
Yes, yeah. So
I mean, not to downplay like the horrible like war crime that he did by executing all the prisoners, but like if they had like removed their Autobot sigils, then Povians, no one could prove that they were Autobots, and then they could have just done it anyway.
what other group of Cybertronians are fighting Decepticons out in space?
I don't know. I don't know. The Wreckers, who definitely not Autobots.
The well-known Autobot records.
So, priority 1, save the prisoners, failed.
Yes.
The other Autobots show up. Iron Fist has got this new weapon that he brought with him. He gives it to Springer, a minigun, shoots up Overlord. You spawn of a glitch is the phrase he uses. But Overlord rips off his face.
Okay, yeah.
Springer will proceed to be on what's it called? Life support until about 2018. This book came out 2010.
Wow, he was on life support.
Yes.
Ripped off face for 8 years.
Fortress Maximus, by the way, is on life support from here up until about 2012.
Wow, he got better a lot faster.
A lot faster. But they rip off Springer's face. But Iron Fist is like, those bullets he shot you up with weren't really bullets. They were deterrence chips. They were the bombs that they planted into people's heads here. So you have a whole lot of bombs inside you. And I have Aequitas, boom. But of course, he turns into a flaming skeleton.
Of course.
Because it's hardened. Because it's a hardened skeleton.
Yeah. Also, doing that gives Iron Fist a seizure, and he just falls over unconscious. So now it's literally just Verity standing against this flaming skeleton. And the line is, "Look at you, all brittle bones and ligaments and red ventricles, so sticky, soft, and bendable. I wonder what sound you'll make when I pop your seams." And then he says, "But how am I supposed... All this is for Megatron. This huge horror show is to attract Megatron. How am I supposed to fight Megatron if he comes here and I'm like this?" And Verity's like, "Oh, you didn't get the news, did you? Megatron's freaking dead. And you know what? He's been occupied with other things. You have this ego where you think Megatron's obsessed with you. You think Megatron is actually going to hunt you down. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, you spent every waking day of your life thinking about him and preparing against him, while he forgot about you and moved on."
Damn. Damn.
Overlord loses his will to fight, falls to his knees, but he owes me. He owes me. Then Impactor shoots him, pins him down. Verity's like, "Kill him," and he's like, fight back, and Overlord's just not fighting back because Overlord does not care if he lives or dies, because his whole point for living was to prove he was better than Megatron against Megatron, but now Megatron's dead.
Wow.
So, Impactor gets this spear, and Overlord's like, "Go on then, do it, have your fun." "Oh, I'm not doing this for me, and then I'm doing it for Springer." He does not kill Overlord, because he's learned his lesson. Although, frankly,
I don't
know, killing
you killed hundreds of innocents, and you won't kill the actual bad guy.
This is on the battlefield, I mean.
Killing Overlord here might be a good idea.
This is on an Autobot planet, I mean, you're... But whatever, the theme is
Plot
to
relevance.
have mercy.
I've learned my shooting.
I mean, is it really mercy to leave him there burning slowly?
No, it's torture.
Yeah. So, Overlord's left alive. Iron Fist wakes up. Yeah. So, the Wreckers come back. 4 coffins.
That's a fiber time.
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
4 coffins. Rotor Storm, Pyro, Guzzle. Tossman, Twin Twist, Rotor Storm, Pyro. That's it. This is Ultramanus reporting to Prowl back on Earth. Springer's on life support. Impactor and Guzzle went their own separate way. Remember the accident I was talking about with Iron Fist?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have mentioned this way earlier. They were using bullets that Iron Fist had invented that were like attracted to people's brains.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
You might notice there's a crack there.
Oh.
He's had it correct this whole time. While he was testing out the weapons a while ago, the bullet accidentally lodged into his brain. He can't get it out, and it was just constantly slowly making its way to his brain.
Oh.
So when he finally exploded, he killed himself.
Well, no, just on the ship coming back, the bullet finally hit his brain.
And he died.
Oh.
So that's why he went on the Suicide Squad, because he was going to die anyway.
But Prowl put him on the team. Prowl says, I see. And Iron Fist, did you receive his body from the Aequitas chamber? And Ultraman says, the chamber? Iron Fist died en route to Earth. He suffered a mechanical aneurysm. Prowl wanted to use Iron Fist as the suicide lock on Aequitas. He wanted to use him, sent him to die.
Yeah.
But I said Topspin kind of said, Twin Twist is being tortured, I'm going to go in. So that went against Prowl's plan. So they talk about the Aequitas trials. They made Aequitas, the supercomputer that can judge everything, 100% accuracy, and they were just curious to see, we Autobots, pride ourselves that we're so much better than the Decepticons, but are we really? So let's take some of our prisoners and take some people who are accusing them of war crimes, doing their hashtag #MeToo and see if they're legitimate accusations. Turns out Autobots have a lot of terrible war criminals in their midst. This one dude on the screen, you see desecration of corpses, illicit spark transplants, and torture through circuit boarding.
Wow.
So
waterboarding.
Water. Yeah, I don't know what circuit boarding would entail, but
Electrified water.
Maybe.
Or their energon, just pure energon over their faces.
But they find a lot of war criminals. That's what they find with the Autobot officers and Autobot soldiers is so horrific that they realize if this gets out, the universe is going to be like, maybe the Decepticons are... maybe they're actually a better option. So what happens is the Aequitas trials and their results are put under lock and key, never to be released.
Wow.
Left on Garrus 9, what they thought was the most secure prison in the world, in the universe. But then the Decepticons get it. So the real priority wasn't to rescue the prisoners. It was all this suffering was to rescue a hard drive.
That they then did nothing with because they found out that it was really bad.
Yeah.
Looks bad on them.
So, apparently most of the war criminals are already dead. Most of the people who accuse the people are already dead. The only way people are going to know about this is with the hard drive. And Ultra Magnus has one. He calls it a data slug. I'm going to call it a flash drive. Ultra Magnus has one flash drive from Iron Fist's brain that contains all of the Aequitas stuff. But he's like, I did not check to see if any of it was corrupted because I did not have the stomach to look through it. But between the transfer from the computer to Iron Fist and between Iron Fist dying and taking it out, some of the information might be corrupted, which means it might be gone forever, and we might never be able to go public with it. But I didn't have the stomach to look at it, so I'm giving it to you. And then he's realized, wait a minute. Knowing Prowl, I could just walk away, you destroy it, and say, oh yeah, it was corrupted. Even if it's not actually corrupted. So you could get rid of the evidence of all the Autobot war crimes. Because I didn't check the flash drive. He kind of says, I didn't check it, and he's like, oh crap, maybe I should have checked it. And but there it is. So he gives him the flash drive. Ultramanus leaves. Prowl looks at the flash drive for a little bit, and the last panel is him applying pressure to the flash drive.
Yeah.
The next scene is Verity. She's writing the next... She apparently has the password to Iron Fist's records, lore stuff, and she's writing the last articles that life persists.
I don't know. I think they pretty much all died.
Is she back on Earth now, too?
Yeah, she's back on Earth.
Yeah. Earth got better.
Earth got better.
Earth's still Thanos stuff, though.
It is sort of a post-apocalyptic Earth. And I think that about...
Alright, let's go into our guesses again. Now we know exactly who.
And there's this whole story that James Roberts wrote, free of charge, wasn't paid for this, to sort of help develop the story.
Wow, yeah.
By the way, the judge for the Aequitas trials is this dude. In a later series, it's explained that he goes insane and tries to contact God or something to try to bring vengeance upon the universe. It's a whole story.
Wow.
That didn't wrap up until 2018. This was a whole story he wrote without being paid.
Wow.
This was a whole story he wrote without being paid.
Bullets and out of bullets.
This was a prequel that he was not paid for. These are profiles that he was not paid for.
Oh, I get to see the transformations, actually. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. Helicopter, fire truck, tank.
Oh my god, that Iron Fist is adorable.
Yeah. Tank, plane. he separates into two pieces. One half becomes a tank, one half becomes a plane. He will show up eventually in another story, and the way they finally defeat him is Springer sends the tank into the far past and the plane into the far future, which is...
what about twins?
Yeah, I've definitely seen Overlord before.
They don't have profiles.
No, that's okay.
Covers...
Nice artwork.
Script extras. He wasn't paid to add these. Fan work. Because this was a heavily beloved series.
That was Topspin and Twin Twist.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah. Profiles about Squadron X that he was not paid for. Another comic he was not paid for about Impactor and Guzzle going around shooting stuff.
Okay.
Doing war crimes.
Yes.
Hashtag war crimes.
Okay.
So...
Alright, my first guess was him.
You said him too.
Well, I changed it from him to him,
Yes, you did.
which was the wrong fucking choice. Now that I'm thinking about it. And he never entered the battlefield, did he?
Not really. He pretty much... What happened?
Not again.
Guzzle... Overlord smashed Guzzle onto his head, and he was like, oh, okay, I'm out of this one.
I am now choking on my cigar.
Right.
If I recall correctly, I said him.
Oh yeah, I said
I
him
said
as well.
him.
That's my 5.
I can't remember the other ones. I know I did. I'm pretty sure I said those 3.
But at the end of the story, Springer's on life support, Impactor's off doing war crimes still, which kind of goes against the character development from the story.
I won't kill him. I'm gonna kill these innocents.
Pyro gets stripped apart, Cup's fine, Topspin's dead, Rotorstorm's dead, Guzzle's out committing war crimes, Iron Fist is dead, Perceptor's fine.
Guzzle's dead real fast.
Twin Twist is dead.
Alright.
And anything else? More facts that he was not paid for. More fan art. No, this is by Nick Roach. This is like the actual artist doing fan art for that. This thing.
Was it Fistitron, not Fistatron? I thought it was
Fizitron.
Fistitron. Okay, that's much less.
I've been misreading this book for years.
Wait, who's Fistron?
His username wasn't Fistatron, it was Fistitron.
Oh. Good old Fistitron.
Art by
Long live
Josh Burkman.
Fistitron.
First draft free of charge. Another story he wrote for free.
Wow, he did a lot of work for free.
And another comic for free.
Given for a lot of really talented writers that know their story backwards forward, that probably wasn't that hard of a thing to do for him. It still was definitely a thing.
Yeah.
But nothing like too difficult. Wow.
Yeah, I can see why that's a very popular story.
We spent an hour and a half getting rid of story 2 and making fun of points.
Excellent.
Points.
Any closing remarks?
Sad that
could have more
Iron Fist
deaths.
died.
Could have had more deaths.
I'm gonna give it about a 7 out of 10 for deaths.
Wow.
By the way, you guys ever watch Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen?
No.
A little bit actually.
There are 2 very annoying characters in that movie called Skids and
Skids
and
God.
Skids and Mudflap. They drew in this panel of a green and red robot being beheaded by Snare. Just sort of, haha, didn't those characters in Revenge of the Fallen suck?
Honestly, I don't think there was enough uproar about those 2 fucking characters. Yo, man, this is a bullshit. You're just like that. It's like, wow. Does he have gold teeth?
So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. The links to Dreadcore and Twisted Ambition will be in the description. Links to the Lazy Koalas in the description. Twitter in the description. Discord link in the description. Instagram in the description. Subscribe to this channel if you have not yet. Share this video. I think if I edit this right, this video could be very shareable among the Transformers community. To see 2 people who have not had any context for Last Stand of the Wreckers hear the story of Last Stand of the Wreckers.
It's like the Christmas story all over again. It's like Grandmama pretending to be a Father Christmas coming and taking bad children to Krampus.
And on a 3-way high five.
Well, and on a 3-way high
So,
five.
now put your hand in the middle. Alright, ready?
Don't you forget about me.
That actually worked out a lot better than I thought it would.
Freeze frame that, and there you go.
I'm doing a freeze frame on that. That's good.
That did a lot better than I thought it would. Like, it was perfect timing.
Alright. It sounded good.
Yeah, it was a meaty slap.
This is the coolest stuff.